It's a bit wonky. There we go. Welcome to day 3, and today we are talking about Jayne Mansfield. Yep, the title might have been a bit misleading. We are talking about Jayne Mansfield. Now, if you don't know who she is, she was an actress in the 1950s into the 60s, and she was kind of like an alternative to Marilyn Monroe. She had the dumb blonde thing going on. To a point then, there was a point where I think it was 20th Century Fox, or it might have been, yeah. Like Marilyn was refusing to do all these roles, so they were like, fine, we'll just give them to Jayne instead. And Jayne was kind of famed for being very, very good at doing the whole publicity thing. So yeah, you know, lots of big photo shoots and campaigns. Like one of the first when she was starting her career, she was just meant to be there with, I think it was another actress. She was in the swimming pool and she knew full well that when she jumped in the pool that her bikini top would come off, and it did, and that was basically the making of Jayne Mansfield. Though she is remembered now for some different things revolving around a publicity stunt and the strange circumstances of her death. So, the story goes that when Jayne was in San Francisco for a film festival there, that she went and met with Anton LaVey, who is the leader of, well, was the leader of the Church of Satan, like Satanism, and that she joined and became a high priestess, and that her death was a result of a curse that LaVey put on her boyfriend, who was also died in the crash with her, or, well, yeah, a curse that was put on him because he didn't like LaVey or something. But I mean, that's actually rubbish. It goes that she met with him when he was in San Francisco, but there's literally no recollection of this happening at the time. She was in San Francisco, as I said, for a film festival, and she was in the press a lot because her outfits were too revealing for the festival and stuff, but it's never once mentioned that she was seen with hanging out with Anton LaVey, and he was kind of quite big on the publicity thing as well. So I mean, it's believed that they didn't meet up at all, because if the press were following her, talking about her outfits, I feel like it would have been in the press at the time. And all the stories about her being a Satanist didn't come out until after she died in a car crash. Okay, so she never met up with Anton when she was in San Francisco, which is where he was based, where he set up his church. He also, Anton supposedly said that he used to play pianos in bars, and that one of these bars he played in was where Marilyn Monroe, back when she was Norma Jean, used to perform as like a showgirl, and that he dated her. And the whole Marilyn Monroe thing will tie in later, because she does pop up again in the story. So if you've heard of Jayne Mansfield, you've probably been like, but I've seen pictures of her with Anton LaVey, so was she part of his Satanist church or not? I mean, she wasn't, and those pictures were taken by a photographer that she'd worked with when she was doing films in Germany, and he also he knew Anton. He'd done, quite recently before this one with Jayne Mansfield, he'd taken a picture of Anton LaVey at like the crypt tomb, however you want to call it, of Marilyn Monroe. So that's how she ties back in. Again, so obviously he wanted to still capitalise on Hollywood, as he had done with the supposedly false stories about Marilyn Monroe. Like a club owner had said that his bar had never employed Marilyn Monroe or something, and that the two of them hadn't actually met, and they've both been working in San Francisco. Sorry, I'm losing my voice again. Just got it back. So yeah, basically he asked them to do a photo shoot together, and Jayne obviously always wanted the publicity and knew how kind of in the kind of popular in the press and stuff that LaVey was like, yeah, why not? And obviously the photographer was a friend, and you know, it wasn't like a weird thing. They just went to her house, the Pink Palace. She had this big pink house that she bought with her second husband, I believe, and yeah, so it was known as Pink Palace, and they just did a photo shoot there, and on the same day she took pictures of her family, her 5 children and her then partner, and yeah, it was, you know, it wasn't anything weird or strange. They didn't summon any spirits, demons, they didn't, yeah, and even LaVey was even in pictures with her children, so if she really thought that he was a threat or that he was going to curse the families, he supposedly did. I mean, I don't think she did. She wouldn't have let him near her children, really. She just saw it as a publicity stunt, and him as just some crazy person who she could capitalise off of. And the pictures didn't even actually come out again until after she died. So, I mean, again, this whole story is something that came out after she died, and it's kind of made her well known, like it has made her a star, and I think maybe her as the Queen of Publicity would like that quite a lot. Now if we move on quickly into her death, obviously it wasn't the result of a curse. There are some weird things revolving around it. The first one is she was in the passenger seat and her children were in the back and they were asleep, and then they survived because they were in the back and they were let down. But one of her sons was originally in the front, and they stopped at a gas station and she moved him into the back. Now this is probably just because he was sleepy and there was, you know, he's falling asleep and there's more room to sleep in the back. I don't think it's like, oh, she knew because she's been cursed and she knew it was coming or something. I just think it's purely maternal instincts to put him in the back. He can sleep with his siblings. So yeah, and that son has said that she basically saved his life, and she's like a guardian angel in that respect. Also, there are rumours that she was decapitated. This isn't true. She was wearing a wig or a hairpiece or something that flew off during the impact, and that she wasn't actually decapitated. So that's another false rumour that people believe about Jane that isn't true. Now, if we move on back to Anton LaVey and afterwards, he basically was like, oh yeah, Jane Mansfield was a high priestess after her death and stuff, and was very involved in making that a thing. But as we know, he already lied about knowing Marilyn Monroe, so can't really trust him. And some of you may be thinking, oh, his name sounds really familiar. That's because if you've watched any Hollywood celebrity conspiracy video, you've probably heard about his daughter Zena. I don't really know how you would say it. She's supposedly the one that they cloned to make Taylor Swift. You've probably seen it. And that Taylor Swift is a clone of a Satanist. Now the thing is, if you look at actual more recent pictures and other pictures of his daughter, she doesn't really look that much. It was just that point where she had bleached blonde hair and the red lips, but I mean, so many people have kind of had that look. She doesn't look that much like her if you look at more recent pictures and stuff. And also, she isn't actually even a member of the church, like the Satanist church anymore. She had a falling out with her dad and believed that kind of everything he was doing was false and that he was just doing it for fame and publicity and stuff, and because she was doing all like the press and stuff for him. And she joined the Temple of Set or the Church of Set, and Set is an Egyptian god. I think it's like of thunderstorms and stuff, and apparently he spoke to the leader of this church saying, well, Satan spoke to him being like, oh yeah, I'm actually Set, that's what people used to call me. So she's a member of that now. She's not actually a Satanist. So all those people that do this Taylor Swift conspiracy video, she's not a clone of Satanist, she's a clone of the member of a Church of Set. But yeah, that's just another little fun fact that ties into other stuff that you've probably seen if you found this video through stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't believe in cloning, so I don't believe in that one. Jane Mansfield wasn't actually a Satanist. Sorry, I don't think she was. I mean, it might have been something she wanted to keep secret, but then she was a very publicly open person. So, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, this has been day 3 of Halloweek. After this, why don't you go watch a Jane Mansfield film? I can recommend the only one I've seen, which is A Girl Can't Help It, which is about the music industry. She's a girl that can't really sing, but she wants to be a singer. Yeah, that's all I've got to say really.